Hi guys, it's great to see you back out here. Last week I spent some time talking about energy and how it manifests in your world. And that goes back to the law of attraction. What happens when you think you're focusing on something and yet it seems like the law of attraction isn't working? It's not that it's not working, it's that you have a lot of stories, and some of these stories control your life and overrule what you're trying to attract. So if you're trying to attract a caring and loving partner and your inner story is telling you that you're not valuable or you don't deserve this, it's going to be really hard to attract that partner. It's great trying to attract things, but sometimes these stories are out of control, and the emotions attached to these stories have a tendency to overwrite our thoughts and desires.
What is brilliant about classical Chinese medicine is that it reaches back 5,000 years to when the philosophies, beliefs, and practices were being formed. The theory incorporates almost all these ideas into the medicine. Energy flows along a meridian in the body, and in episode 1, the emotions were energy and can create disease in the body. That makes disease a sacred key and a way you can find your inner reality.
Okay, in a minute, I'm going to share with you how to find the emotion attached to a particular disease in the body. But first, I want to share with you how complex these emotions are. These emotions have been in your life for so long that they are part of the story you use to create the world. And you'll use these stories to help you subconsciously select the people in your life who are going to support your story. And that's only one part of the way that we create our world. We'll even have actions and behaviors that will help encourage and support the story that we've created.
In the last episode, I touched on back pain. When I started looking at my back pain, I began to realize why back pain is so common today. Let me share with you some of the thoughts from Chinese medicine. Back pain is associated with the waterway of the kidney channel and with the energy vortex of the second chakra. So what starts the winds of emotion in the kidney channel?
Fear originates in the kidneys or the kidney channel, and it can be fear of anything. It does not have to be expressed as fear. It could be feeling insecure or overly cautious. You might have issues with starting or stopping something. Lack of compassion or patience ignite the winds of this waterway. The second chakra deals with emotions of self-worth and self-support. Expressions of codependence and neediness are found in the second chakra, and much of our attitude and our expression of our sexuality is found in the second chakra along with karma. So there's a lot of things going on in the second chakra.
To learn more about karma, check out my episode, Understanding the Laws of Karma. Wow, okay, so there's the energetics of what's being expressed in the low back. How does that look in real life? Well, here's one: slipping your back out or herniating a disc. It used to be I would only see men in the office who had thrown out their back. Over the last few years, women are coming in with the same issue. The common thread: they are the main breadwinners for the family. There are always concerns with financially supporting your family and ensuring their well-being. That constant gust of emotion gradually weakens the spine, and one day you reach for a box of cereal and your back slips out. And deeper traumatizing fears show up here. PTSD is an example of constant chronic fear. Chronic fears that form a theme in your life, like the fear of being abandoned, laughed at, not being successful, or the ability to love, these things do it too. There are all sorts of different flavors of emotion which cause lower back pain, and the flavor that makes up your story is complicated because you're a unique individual interpreting life with your own flavor. Yet, for every story, for every situation, there are 100 different outcomes that could happen, but you might find your response, your outcome, is always the same, even though you know people who respond to the same situation completely differently and with ease.
It starts to come down to the energetics of your thoughts and how your thoughts create your world. These stories create underlying themes, and these themes create threads of thought in your life that you can follow each time a similar situation appears. These threads are made up of many strands twisted together, and it only takes finding one strand to start unraveling the thread. How many of you enjoy change? I mean, it's not my most favorite thing. Change means completely uprooting the current system, process improving the new system, learning the new method, and then becoming proficient in the new method.
It's always frustrating when they do a major overhaul on one of the software systems that I use on the computer. I mean, they've upgraded Word so many times that I no longer know where anything is, and I don't have time to look for it. That's just one example of how too much change at one time can be overwhelming. So one strand is enough. Disease becomes an opportunity to identify a strand of the story you tell yourself. The minute you start to search for these answers, you are stepping into change. And if you move too fast, you may get overwhelmed and go back to where you started. So take your time and be grateful for everything you are willing to see. Disease started way before your physical symptoms. What you want to find is the emotion or the energetics of the emotion that started this. And in the previous episode, we talked about energy and how thoughts are energy. Energy starts a gust of wind in the body that travels a meridian, can cause damage in the meridian. It's the gust of wind or the emotion that you want to get back to. Why disease becomes a great opportunity to find your inner voice is because it all starts with your emotions. You want to find that emotion that forms your story. So how do you find that emotion? Much of the self-discovery work comes down to different ways of meditation, and there are dozens, maybe thousands of different ways to meditate, and every method of meditation starts with your ability to focus.
I'm going to share with you what I do, and you can find something similar in some of the yoga practices.
If focus is difficult for you, I have a 4-part series on the 3 steps to improve meditation. I use these steps in this series to get my focus back after going through a really stressful time that lasted for years. It took me a long time to get focused during meditation. If I look back now, I think it took me about a year, but I was finally able to find success. When I had my focus, I spent a couple months focusing on different parts of my body, like my feet, my legs, my arms. Then, when I thought I had that under control, I went to look for why something was happening in my body. And how I would do that is I would figure out what I was going to ask before I started meditating. And the question could be as simple as, why do I have back pain? Then I would use the skills I'd worked on. First, I would get quiet and focused. Then I would focus on the part of my body that was in discomfort and feel the sensations in the area. When my focus was 100% on the area of concern, I would focus on my question and sit still in the emptiness, waiting for an answer. And out of that emptiness, an answer would appear. Other questions I would use would be, what is the story I'm telling myself with this strand? What are the behaviors that support this strand? How have I selected people in my life who support this strand? Now, the answers can be uncomfortable. Your response may be defending yourself and stating how someone else's actions were responsible for your actions, because this can be uncomfortable. It's about change. That's okay, because whatever you learn, you can start to work with. It could take you another 6 months or longer to feel comfortable and safe enough to search for that next strand in your emotions. And sometimes, when you're ready, it will come to you without you even having to go out and look for it, because you no longer need to protect yourself. When I first started searching for answers, it was rarely about forgiving someone else. It was always about forgiving myself. It has only been recently that I have understood the true meaning of forgiveness when it came to other people. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
I hope that helps. I know it's a lot of information, but I also know that you've spent a lifetime finding your inner reality, and we've all taken different paths. I know you're going to be able to find nuggets here to help you continue on your journey. Until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.